Hunter, or some call it Hunter x Hunter, celebrates a very special week. It marks the 3rd year since Hunter x Hunter went on hiatus in 2018. All I feel is great pain looking at this hiatus chart before me. Seeing the hiatuses outnumber the times of serialized chapters for the manga series Hunter x Hunter just brings me so much sadness. Yoshihiro Togashi has a history of hiatuses throughout his manga. If we look at where it all began, it was back in 2006 when Yoshihiro Togashi started taking more frequent breaks while writing the Chimera Ant arc. That to this very day stands the test of time of quality shonen manga arcs. You could say it was a major deconstruction of a shonen main character. Maybe thanks to the constant breaks, it resulted in the Chimera Ant arc being as high quality as it was. Breaks are very important for a mangaka. We all have seen what lack of breaks has done to authors that create some of our favorite stories. It utterly trashes their health to the point that they cannot continue as frequently as they once did. Many might be unaware of this, but Yu Hakusho had a rushed ending and forced conclusion. It was a manga series that Togashi wrote himself before Hunter x Hunter. The manga even got an anime, and the series became extremely famous at that time. Then you're probably wondering, why a rushed conclusion if the series was doing so well? If we dive deeper into where all this began with Yoshihiro Togashi, we come upon an interview and statement he made at the end of Yu Hakusho. He mentions that he felt a great feeling of relief and pleasure upon finishing Yu Hakusho. Togashi says he didn't lose his emotional attachment to the manga, but he goes on to mention that his stress levels were overcoming his will to work on the manga. Yoshihiro Togashi states he knew he would end the manga on December 1993, the months leading to that conclusion was awfully long according to him, which shows his overall stress levels upon reaching to that end date. He even forced his editorial staff to end his work, so it wasn't Shonen Jump that cancelled Yu Hakusho, but he himself that actually told them he wanted to end it. Togashi mentions that he had many reasons to end it like he did, but he summed it up into 3 major reasons: his body, his thoughts on what it means to draw manga, and desire to do other things than work. Togashi wanted to prioritize his body and get sleep, but then he realized when he slept as much as he wanted to, he got behind schedule, so he was forced to put his body to the back end to continue working, which added to the buildup of stress over time. To quote Togashi, "I don't want to die from overwork. If I die, I want it to be when I'm having fun, or when I'm drawing manga for fun. Color pages are scary. One-shots are scary." End quote. A few times throughout Togashi writing Yu Hakusho, he finished all his manuscripts by himself, all of these times when his stress levels were the highest. He goes on to explain that when he was stressed about not being satisfied with his manga, the only way for him to relieve stress is to draw manga, which you could see was an endless loop for him. To put it simply, Togashi had depression. It's been common knowledge for a very long time now that Yoshihiro Togashi has had poor health. His latest offer comments in Weekly Shonen Jump when he was writing Hunter x Hunter in 2018 is enough to show his problems still persist to this very day. Maybe the reason for his art quality in some chapters of Hunter x Hunter is the result of his stress being the absolute highest as back when he was writing Yu Hakusho. In another interview with Yoshihiro Togashi, over 20 years have passed since Hunter x Hunter began its serialization in Weekly Shonen Jump Magazine. It seems like his mental health has improved to some degree if you look at the interview, and to quote Togashi, "I have my own standards to meet to keep drawing for Shonen Jump." End quote. Despite what he says earlier, he clearly wants to keep drawing, and to quote him again, "My series is so long, but I can't bring myself to quit partway through. I know it probably sounds self-contradictory, but by setting that dilemma aside, I set a personal standard based on the number of comics published. If the actual number falls below my standard, I feel like the readers are telling me there's no point in keeping it going. But if the number succeeds that standard, it shows me that the readers think it's just as interesting as I do. So I want to keep it running." End quote. To summarize all of that, Togashi continues writing Hunter x Hunter for himself and his fans. As long as the sales and reading numbers are high, he will keep writing and drawing the manga. If it ever falls below his set standard, he'll end it. The last 2 manga volumes of Hunter x Hunter that came out sold very well despite all the hiatuses the series has gotten over the years. It's clear he doesn't want to end it, but his health is another factor. Judging by his personality from the interviews, he's extremely prideful in his work and really does love writing and drawing manga. It's left to be seen if we will ever have another chapter, not thanks to Togashi being lazy, but if his health actually allows him.